If today you did just one small thing, would the you in 5 or 10 years look back and say, "Thank goodness I started early"? The promise of your future. Picture this: you're sitting in a quiet cafe, watching the rain tap against the window. Across the street, you spot someone who looks oddly familiar. It's you, 10 years older. They smile, nod, and you can almost hear them say, "Thank you for doing that." Sounds like something from a movie, but science backs it up. Researchers at Stanford University found that when you imagine your future self clearly, you make better choices in the present. That's because future you stops feeling like a stranger and starts feeling like someone you actually care about. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth: whether you act or not, the future will come. At 50, 60, or 70, some people believe it's too late to start over. But it isn't. The only question is whether you'll meet your future with an aching body or a stronger one, with a heavy heart or a light, joyful spirit. And that depends on what you choose to do today. Drink a warm glass of water instead of a second cup of coffee. Walk around the block for 5 minutes. Send a quick message to an old friend. These things may seem small, almost laughably so. But like dropping coins into a jar, they add up over time, into health, connection, and peace of mind. If you let the next 10 years slip by without acting, you'll wish you could come back to this exact moment. And trust me, your future self doesn't want to say, "if only." They want to say, "Thank you." The weight of, "I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow." It feels harmless, almost comforting, like wrapping yourself in a warm blanket. But for people over 50, that blanket gets heavier with every passing day, until it's not a blanket at all, but a lead coat. Here's the thing: procrastination isn't just a bad habit. Psychologists call it a self-regulation failure. Your brain prefers comfort now over effort for later. At 20, you can get away with it, your body recovers faster, your opportunities are plenty. At 60, the cost compounds. Skip stretching today. Your back complains louder tomorrow. Ignore that phone call. The friendship may quietly fade, and it's sneaky. The older we get, the better we become at justifying the delay. It's not urgent. I'm too tired today. I deserve a break. And you do deserve rest, but rest feels different when it's earned, not stolen from tomorrow. Studies from the University of Toronto show that small, repeated delays in physical activity and social connection after age 50 correlate with sharper declines in mobility and mood. Translation: tomorrow is a luxury your body and mind can't always afford. So here's your mental trick: when you catch yourself saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," swap it with, "I'll do it for tomorrow." Suddenly, the walk you take today becomes a gift to your future self. And unlike most gifts, this one can't be returned, only enjoyed. The power of 10 minutes in minutes. That's all. Less time than it takes to find your reading glasses when they're sitting on your head. And yet, done daily, 10 minutes can rewrite the story of your next decade. Here's why: your brain and body are wired to respond to consistency, not intensity. You don't need an hour at the gym or a week-long retreat to feel better. Neuroscientists at McGill University have shown that even short bursts of activity, 10 minutes of brisk walking, stretching, journaling, or meditation, trigger measurable boosts in blood flow, mood-regulating neurotransmitters, and cognitive sharpness. But here's the trap most people fall into: they underestimate small actions because they don't bring instant fireworks. You walk for 10 minutes and think, "Well, that didn't change my life." Of course it didn't. You wouldn't expect a single coin to fill your savings jar either. The magic is in the repetition. Imagine this: 10 minutes a day for a year equals over 60 hours of movement, reflection, or skill building. 60 hours your body gets stronger, your mind gets sharper, your mood gets lighter, all without ever once blocking off a giant chunk of time. So, when the day feels overwhelming, shrink your goal. Promise yourself 10 minutes. It's short enough to feel doable, long enough to make a difference, and small enough that your brain won't argue with you. And if your brain still protests, remind it, it's only 10 minutes. The broken chair story. A few years back, my friend Margaret, 74, sharp as a tack, and stubborn as a mule, was hosting her granddaughter's birthday party. She pulled out an old wooden chair from the basement, thinking, it's just for a few minutes. Halfway through, "Happy birthday," the chair gave up on life. Legs buckled, Margaret tumbled, and the room froze. She was fine, thankfully, but later she admitted something that stuck with me: I knew that chair was wobbly. I just never got around to fixing it. This isn't about furniture, it's about life. We all have broken chairs we keep using, the aching knee we ignore, the budget we never review, the friend we keep meaning to call. These are small cracks that, left unattended, become bigger problems. Preventive action, even tiny ones, is the difference between a laughable mishap and a serious setback. Studies from the University of British Columbia show that people over 60 who handle small maintenance tasks early, whether for their health, home, or relationships, report 30% fewer major life disruptions over the next 5 years. Margaret fixes her chairs now. She also stretches every morning, updates her passwords, and calls her doctor when something feels off. She says, "I do it now so my future self doesn't have to clean up the mess." The lesson: check your chairs, literal and metaphorical, before they collapse. Your future self will thank you for every screw tightened today. Your brain and change. Your brain is not a fan of change, especially after 50. It's like a grumpy tenant who's lived in the same apartment for decades and refuses to move the couch because it's always been there. Biologically, there's a reason. As we age, the brain's plasticity, its ability to rewire and adapt, naturally slows down. That doesn't mean it stops, it just means it needs a little coaxing. Neuroscientists at the University of Alberta found that older adults can still form new neural pathways as effectively as younger people, but they require more consistent repetition and emotional engagement to make changes stick. Here's the sneaky part: your brain will disguise resistance as logic. You'll hear thoughts like, "This isn't the right time," or "I'm too set in my ways." But really, that's your brain saving energy by keeping you in the same loop, even if that loop isn't serving you. So how do you trick it? Start ridiculously small. Want to improve balance? Stand on one leg while brushing your teeth. Want to read more? Commit to a single paragraph a day. Want to eat better? Add one extra vegetable to your plate. No grand overhaul, no drama over time. These micro shifts teach your brain that change is safe. And once it stops bracing for impact, you'll find it actually enjoys the novelty. Think of it as moving the couch 1 inch at a time, until suddenly, you've redecorated the whole room without a fight. Habits as seeds. Think of every habit as a seed. Some grow into shady trees that protect you, others sprout into weeds that choke the good stuff. The tricky part: seeds don't look that different when you first plant them. At 50, 60, or 70, you might think the garden of your life is set. But soil doesn't stop being fertile just because it's been around a while. Research from the University of Ottawa shows that adults over 60 can form new habits almost as quickly as younger people when they tie them to existing routines, a concept called habit stacking. Plant a seed by attaching a new action to something you already do. After your morning coffee, stretch for 2 minutes. When you check the mail, take a short walk around the block. When you turn on the kettle, jot down one thing you're grateful for. Tiny, repeatable, and easy to grow. Here's the magic: good habits multiply. One seed becomes a small plant, which drops more seeds, which create a whole patch of healthy behaviors. And yes, weeds can spread too. Skipping one walk can snowball into a week of inactivity. That's why you pull weeds early, the best part. You don't need to overhaul your entire garden today. Just plant one good seed and water it. In a year, you might not even recognize the lush, thriving space your life has become. The shortcut of gratitude. Gratitude sounds like a Hallmark card cliché until you realize it's basically a free, side effect-free health supplement. And unlike kale, it doesn't require chewing. Psychologists at the University of Manitoba found that older adults who practiced small, daily acts of gratitude reported lower blood pressure, better sleep, and significantly reduced symptoms of depression within just 8 weeks. The kicker? These benefits often lasted months after the practice became a habit. The beauty of gratitude is its low entry fee. You don't have to meditate for an hour or write a 10-page journal entry. You can simply tell the grocery clerk, "I appreciate your help," text a friend, "thinking of you," or look out the window and acknowledge, "That's a nice bit of sunlight." Done. Gratitude shifts your brain's focus. Instead of scanning the world for what's wrong, which it's very good at, it starts spotting what's right. Over time, this rewires your default setting from worry to wonder. Here's a simple hack: pair gratitude with something you already do daily. While brushing your teeth, name one thing you're thankful for. Before your first sip of tea or coffee, think of one person you appreciate. These moments cost seconds but deliver a long-term return that would make any investment banker jealous. Your future self won't just thank you for the healthier mind and body, they'll inherit a life that feels lighter, even on heavy days. The lesson from my 82-year-old neighbor. My neighbor Frank is 82, walks straighter than most people half his age, and owns more flannel shirts than seems legal. Every morning at 7:15 sharp, rain or shine, he's outside sweeping his front porch. Not because it needs it, but because, as he puts it, it keeps me moving. When I asked him why he's so consistent, he told me a story. In his 50s, Frank's doctor warned him about declining mobility. Instead of joining a gym, which he hated, Frank chose one small, non-negotiable action: sweep the porch every morning. 5 minutes, no excuses. Over time, that 5 minutes became 10, then 20. He started adding a short walk after the sweep, some light stretches, and eventually a few push-ups against the wall. 30 years later, Frank's mobility is exceptional, his balance steady, and his smile annoyingly smug. Researchers at Simon Fraser University have a term for this: behavioral compounding. It's when one small, consistent action triggers a chain reaction of other positive behaviors. And it works at any age. The trick is starting with something so small you can't fail. Frank likes to say, "You don't have to chase youth. Just make sure the years have to chase you." Watching him, I believe it. Small wins on a bad day. Some days just sag. You wake up, spill your tea, and the news feels like a slow-motion disaster reel. On days like that, aiming for big change is like trying to climb a mountain in slippers. Here's the trick: shrink your victory target. Neuroscientists at the University of Calgary found that completing small, achievable actions triggers dopamine, the feel-good brain chemical, even if the task is as simple as making your bed or taking 3 deep breaths. That hit of dopamine can break the inertia and make the next action easier. Your bad day toolkit might look like this: put on your favorite song and move for 60 seconds, step outside and notice 3 things you can see, hear, or smell, send one kind message to someone, doesn't matter who. These micro wins aren't about productivity, they're about reminding your brain you still have agency. When everything feels too big, you prove to yourself you can still do something. Think of it as emotional first aid. You wouldn't try to run a marathon on a sprained ankle, you'd wrap it, rest it, and take small steps. Bad days deserve the same gentleness. And often, one tiny win is all it takes to stop the slide. A letter to your future self. Imagine sitting down a decade from now, opening an envelope, and finding a letter from you. Not the you of today, but the one who has benefited from every small step you decided to take. They've got a steadier body, a sharper mind, and a softer smile. And in big, looping handwriting, the letter simply says, "Thank you for not giving up on me." Writing to your future self isn't just sentimental fluff, it's a psychological anchor. Researchers at the University of Victoria found that people who visualize and emotionally connect with their future selves are more likely to make healthy, consistent choices in the present. It makes tomorrow feel real, not theoretical. You don't have to actually write a letter, though I highly recommend it. You can just pause, close your eyes, and picture who you want to be in 5, 10, or even 20 years. Then ask, what one small thing could I do today to make their life easier? Because here's the truth: your future self will either inherit the rewards of your actions or the consequences of your inaction. They're counting on you, and if you listen closely, you can almost hear them whispering back across the years, "Start now." That's all for today. I'll be making more videos like this in the future. Subscribe to watch them.